Hey, what's up? It's your boy Rawk, and welcome to Rawk Recompletes, a series in which I take a look back at games that I've previously beaten to see if my opinions on them still hold true. Today we'll be taking a look at Super Mario Galaxy 2, which was released on the Nintendo Wii in 2010, and is an asset reused and sequel to Super Mario Galaxy. So without any further ado and lots of repetition, let's get right into it. Well, would you look at that? The first game in the series that I had a strong opinion on. I got Super Mario Galaxy 2 relatively near its launch. I wasn't actively excited for it or anything, I just got it for Christmas of 2010. I played the game, really enjoyed it, and then put it down. I didn't get very far through it, and I regretted it. So a few years later I picked it up again with the intention of beating it, and I did just that. I 99.8% completed the game because that last prankster comet just wouldn't fucking show up. I absolutely loved the game, and at the time, I perceived it to be my favourite in the series. I distinctly remember so much about my playthrough. The thing that sticks out the most in my mind was the final battle. I honestly thought I was going to get destroyed, and I beat it first try, and I've never felt more victorious. Needless to say, I loved this game, and I held it in quite high regard. So let's see if that's changed. Super Mario Galaxy had an absolutely stellar story, so naturally, expectations were high going into Galaxy 2. The story begins on the night of the Star Festival, a festival that takes place once every 100 years and wait a minute. The story begins on the night of the Star Festival, a festival that takes place once every 100 years. Good God, my Alzheimer's is kicking in already. So canonically, Mario is at the very least 130 years old. What the hell is he using to keep himself looking so young? On the way there, he finds a Luma who looks familiar. He starts speaking to us in PlayStation. Fuck! I knew I should have paid attention in this class. He gives us our spin ability from the first game, and we head into the castle grounds. We head down the path and, gasp, is that a Bowser? In the transition from Galaxy 1 to Galaxy 2, Bowser grew to the size of Miyamoto's bank account. I always knew he could do it. He grabs Peach and he flies off to the centre of the universe. Again, Mario takes chase, and after grabbing the first Power Star, he finds himself on the wrecked remains of a ship, and we are greeted by the remainder of its crew. Lubba is the head honcho of the crew, and he tells us that he too was attacked by Bowser. His ship was blasted with meteors, leaving some of his crew to perish in deep space. Bowser stole the ship's fuel, the Power Stars, and after Lubba finds out that we have the trust of young Master Luma, he requests our help. We team up to collect the Power Stars, take back Peach, and end Bowser's reign over the galaxies. And with that, Lubba takes our Power Star and uses its power to do something magical. Starship Mario was born and is essentially the replacement for the Comet Observatory from the first game. The Faith ship changes throughout the game, mostly being inhabited by more and more of the game's unique species, which is a nice touch. After reaching the end of World 6, we see Bowser's ship draining the energy from a comet. Lubba declares war on the ship and sends us in to deliver a smackdown. We meet face to face with bank account-sized Bowser as he delivers his monologue about taking over the universe, before launching headfirst into one of the best Bowser fights ever. This fight is genuinely incredibly fun and creative. The only issue being, it's over way too quick. We kick Bowser in the planet-sized pie hole, and out pops the Grand Star. Yeah, I didn't like happiness anyways. This part of the fight is simultaneously the most exciting and most disappointing. It's incredibly fun and unique, but it's over before you know it. Anyway, we trounce Bowser, save Peach and head back to Starship Mario. We see that the comet that Bowser's ship was draining energy from was none other than the Comet Observatory. Young Master Luma cries out for his mother, and Lubba mentions how he knew he and Rosalina would meet again. Any knowledge of the first meeting would have been nice, but sure. Rosalina tells us that the gentle pull of the universe would guide us back together, and with that, young Master Luma returns to her, with Mario's cap in tow. Rosalina and the Comet Observatory blast back off into outer space, and Lubba takes Mario and Peach back to the Mushroom Kingdom. Credits time. The credits in this game are playable, and this is something that I really appreciate. It's actually really fun. And in terms of the story, that's it. let's talk about this. Super Mario Galaxy 2 was intended to appeal more so to the casual user base of the Wii, and as a result, they massively cut back on the story. Beyond what I've talked about, there's nothing. No equivalent to Rosalina's storybook either. This game's story is incredibly bare bones, and as you can probably tell, it's very derivative of the first game's story. All of the cutscenes go for a storybook approach, with paper borders and the transitions being page flips. Many will tell you that this story is simply a retelling of the original, but I actually have my own theory on just what the hell this thing is. At the end of the first game, the universe was reset, and everyone is in the same place. My theory is that the events of the first game repeat themselves in a slightly altered fashion that involves Lubba, and Rosalina's assertion that no two cycles of the universe are the same supports this, as the events are extremely similar, but not at all the same, and a part of that is the new locales. It's probably incredibly stupid, but it's better than what Nintendo gave us. The cutscenes are incredibly well animated, and look almost as good as the ones from the original. However, for me, the paper border kind of takes away from the overall look, but that's more of a personal nitpick. The story of this game is slightly disappointing compared to the previous two games in the series, but it doesn't at all detract from the rest of the game. Yeah, I'd rather have a story more akin to Galaxy 1, but the rest of the game more than makes up for it. To get a good idea of the gameplay in Super Mario Galaxy 2, imagine Super Mario Galaxy. This game has the exact same engine as the original, and as such, Mario's basic gameplay carries over. Instead of me repeating what I've already said, I'm instead going to focus on the new things that Mario Galaxy 2 brings to the table, the most notable of which being... How does this happen every fucking time? After missing the fun the first go around, Yoshi comes swinging back with an incredibly fun moveset. Yoshi has a very similar moveset to his Sunshine interpretation. You really don't have anything to call your own, do you? But there are a few key differences. His spin jump and squirt abilities are gone, but in return, Yoshi has a much more robust tongue. Other than that being the weirdest 7 words I've ever said, this makes Yoshi the most optimum way to kill enemies. Using the pointer, we're able to aim where his tongue will go, and down enemies with one lick. Yoshi's tongue can also be used to extend platforms and pull other things such as giant berries, but this is fairly infrequent. Yoshi also has power-ups in this game, and they come in the form of fruit. The blimp fruit turns Yoshi into a balloon, allowing him to float for a limited period of time. The bulb fruit makes Yoshi glow, allowing for hidden platforms to be uncovered in ghost stages. And finally, the dash pepper sends Yoshi into a heat-fueled speed frenzy, allowing him to run incredibly fast and run up walls. Yoshi is incredibly fun in this game. A little bit slower than Sunshine, but the same can be said about Mario. I jump at the chance to use him in this game, and also, he's fucking adorable. Back on the topic of power-ups, Mario also has some new ones. The spin drill is pretty self-explanatory. You grab the drill, spin... Holy shit! The rock mushroom, which allows Mario to turn into a boulder and hurdle across stages, flattening anything in his path. This one's incredibly fun, but not really used very often. Apart from bowling. And finally, the cloud flower, which allows Mario to create temporary platforms with a spin, as well as allowing him to be much floatier. It also allows Mario to stand on pre-existing clouds, which he previously couldn't do. This is probably the best new power-up in the game, as it's incredibly versatile and just a blast to use. Overall, Super Mario Galaxy 2's gameplay holds up incredibly well and is extremely fun. It takes what the original had, expands it, and is honestly the most definitive of the two in a gameplay sense. It's fucking Mario Galaxy again! This game is an asset reusing sequel, meaning graphically, it's identical to the original, so what the fuck do you want me to say? There are slight differences, such as the more prominent use of a blue sky background rather than a starry space background. There's new species, such as the Whittles. I'm really trying here. Galaxy 2 has a new batch of songs, and holy shit, these are magical. The soundtrack of this game is phenomenal, and is at the very least on par with the original. A few highlights include Puzzle Plant Galaxy, Yoshi Star Galaxy, Starship Mario World 3, and I'm not reusing my own joke. In a way, I'd actually argue that this game feels more alive than the original. This game has way more original characters and sees the return of classics such as the Piantas. Every level is filled with NPCs, and I really appreciate that. All in all, this game's presentation reeks of Super Mario Galaxy, which means that it's absolutely stellar. They keyed down the Stargate jingle. I knew this was worth something! Let me guess, there's a new batch of domes to access a new batch of galaxies and that's it, right? Right? Holy shit. Finally, this game has something new to talk about, as it has a way more linear setup compared to the original. It sees us collecting power stars in a new batch of galaxies that are all an absolute treat. Each galaxy has 1 or 2 base stars, and each world has more galaxies than any of the domes had in the original. There's a total of 7 worlds, the last of which is unlocked after beating Bowser. A new collectible is thrown into the ring this time, however, the Comet Medal. One of these bad boys is hidden in the first star of every galaxy, and hunting them all down can be a fun treat. Upon collecting a galaxy's Comet Medal, a prankster comet is capable of spawning in at random, and these are a fun challenge. Every single galaxy has a prankster comet, and it's beyond fun seeing a bunch of them spawn in and knocking them all out. After beating the final boss for the first time, we unlock Luigi! He functions the same as in Galaxy 1, apart from the fact that you don't need to restart the game to play as him. Instead, we simply enter this door and never look back. There are 120 stars in total across the 7 worlds, and we get our reward after obtaining them all and beating Bowser again. And our reward is... And here we have one of the most controversial elements of this game's completion, the green stars. 120 of these bastards are squirted into every single galaxy, over the already collected stars. By that I mean if a galaxy has 3 stars, it'll have 3 green stars. Much like the Comet Medals, the green stars are hidden within the galaxies. The difference being, the green stars are hidden incredibly well. They're legitimately a challenge to hunt down, which is something I really appreciate. It gives you a reason to explore every nook and cranny of these galaxies. Many people find this tedious, but I couldn't possibly agree less. I found it incredibly fun to return to these levels and search for the green stars, being extra cautious when trying to spot a green sparkle or hear the shimmer of the stars throughout the level. After we collect all 120 green stars, leaving our total at a whopping 240, we unlock the final challenge, the Grandmaster Galaxy. This galaxy is a tough as nails challenge with no checkpoints and a boatload of shit that wants you dead. This level is absolutely brutal and tests every single skill you've utilised throughout the game. This challenge is incredibly fun. Stringing each of these sections together and pulling them all off without dying makes collecting the star at the end incredibly satisfying. That was incredibly fun, and honestly, I'm sad it's over already. Oh, fuck. Perfect run. 3 words that send a shiver down the spine of anyone who's played this game. This star sees us playing the entire level, full of deadly obstacles and tricky platforming, without taking a single hit. If you'll allow me, I'd like to summarise this star in 2 words. Fuck this! This star makes me so fucking angry. None of the individual sections are difficult by themselves, but stringing them all together without getting hit is a pain in the fucking arse. And then when you manage that, along comes that last section. Who the fine fuck decided this was okay? Ugh, this level hurts my soul. Beating this stupid piece of fuck shit didn't really feel rewarding. It just felt like, finally my soul can know peace. Other than that thing, 100% in this game is a blast and something I wholeheartedly recommend. As long as you're good at controlling your anger, because you might end up with one less Wii remote after it. God damn it. Super Mario Galaxy 2 is the perfect sequel. It picks up where the original left off and just keeps going. The game stemmed from the fact that the devs had too many ideas for the Galaxy formula that they couldn't fit them all into one game, and the pure passion and love for the project is abundantly clear in each and every polygon in the game. While I may not hold it as highly as I once did, I can say that I appreciate this game a hell of a lot more, and it's one of the finest adventures Mario's ever been on. And now, the green stars have taught me the importance of searching every level from top to bottom. So I'm curious, is there anything interesting to find in the credits? Fuck you, Nintendo.